Enter a world beyond sound and words and unravel a dark and twisted mystery unlike anything you've ever heard before in The Quiet Man, an all-new immersive story experience that blurs the line between game and film. It's available now on Steam. The Quiet Man. Shh. Shh. I just want somebody to teach my cats how to open a door when my hands are full. Does that cost $5?
That's reasonable.
Right?
Yeah.
Doesn't seem that tough. Or just open the door when my hands are full and do it a bunch.
I don't
make up for these deficient cats I have.
I don't want that, what that would lead to. So, like, my cat, like, creepily opening doors around the house.
That's true.
Like,
That's
you're pooping. True. And
the door swings open.
The door actually clicks and swings open, and you're the only one in the house.
And I got one cat in particular who, if you're pooping, he needs to be in the bathroom with you. Like, that is his time. And with one of the door in our bedroom is like this big sliding, what do you call, like, barn door type. And he doesn't know how to slide it side to side, so he just pulls it forward until it's about to fall off the hinges and then squeezes through. So yeah, if you ever house sitting for me, you need a little alone time. Settle down to, let's say, brush your teeth. Just be warned, someone's going to start breaking down the door and complaining that you won't let them in.
Yeah, you've met
Tim.
In
a world.
He just likes water.
Yeah, man, Tim is a good one. It's like a primo cat right there. You were telling that story about how the dogs are...
So when the dogs drink water,
right?
Tim runs into the kitchen and puts his head underneath their heads, so he gets splashed. He's in the splash zone of dogs drinking water, because dogs drink water recklessly, no matter what. So,
with abandon. Reckless abandon.
He just likes to, like, get secondhand wet. He doesn't like to be, like, sprayed with a hose or go in a pool or
just get dripped on.
Yeah, you dripped on. He, like, if you're in the shower, he, like, runs in the bathroom and hangs out with you while you're in the shower, and, like, you, like, drip water on him from the shower.
That's cool, man. Cat who knows what he likes. That's nice.
It's all water. He doesn't like us.
Yeah, you're just a conduit for water to drip off of, and
pretty much.
Him.
Are we in the show?
I think this is it. This is happening. Welcome to Crucible Radio. It's a show for all things Destiny 2 PvP, at least after we get the first bit out of the way. Yep.
This might be like, that might have been a weird, chopped cut or somewhere in there. We weren't talking about cats, and then we came back and we were talking about cats.
Cats are interesting, man.
Andrew's going to figure it out.
Yeah, he's a pro. I bet Andrew likes cats.
He seems like a cat guy.
I mean, Andrew, we'll find out when the episode comes out.
Do you like cats?
Yes, absolutely. I have a cat named Eve, and she is the greatest cat in the world.
Classic Andrew, inserting himself into the cat-related question. Anyways, thank you for tuning into the show tonight. We got a, they call them solo bolos when it's just one of us, but what do you call a duo? A duo...
What is, like, a dance that happens when there's only two of you? Is there ever a dance when there's three?
I feel like there's dancing for three or more. Like, if you're at a bar mitzvah and you're going to dance the hora, like, you're going to need at least three people to get that going. Ideally more.
Sure.
Or, like, also bar mitzvah classic, the chair dance where you sit on the chair and they lift you up. You're going to need at least two people to lift that chair.
Yeah, people can be heavy.
Bust a move. Yeah, right. It's nerve-wracking.
So
I feel like
we're tangoing. Take two to tango. That's the there you go.
Yeah,
we're tangoing.
That's actually short for the full saying, which is that it takes two max to tango.
So, just for the listeners, Bones ditched us because he is on a win streak in the Crucible right now. I mean, this kind of fits. I mean, if you're going to not do the
On
podcast because you're lusting after the Redricks, I think that's fine. I think I'm cool with that.
It is very on brand. I'll just say, Bonesy, you better fucking get that Redrix.
Oh, he owes it so
You better get it. Go get that shit, man. You're on the hook now. Because really, what Bones need.
I don't want to hear I came up short. I want to hear.
I know.
I have this gun, and it makes fun gun noises.
Mm-hmm. No, this is psychological, because I know that in competitive situations, the thing that really helps Bones is a lot of external pressure.
Lots
to
of
succeed.
Pressure. He does really well under.
Loves pressure. Loves it. Can't get enough of it.
Man, I'm jealous. I kind of want it. I didn't put in the effort to really want it, but
yeah.
I'll just
find out.
You know what'll happen? I'm almost certain I know myself this well.
What's that?
I will probably finish the broadsword quest within the first week, because I'll just be like, I'm done PvE for a little while. Let me just obsess over this quest and only this quest. And I'm sure there'll be plenty of things I ignore that everybody's doing. They're like, oh, we're going to do the public event thing. And I'm like, no, I got to finish this quest because it's somehow important. I don't know.
I since we recorded this episode, of course, the episode comes out and then we find out exactly what the quest is and find out that, this is fairly involved, right?
Yeah.
There's a lot of steps to it. I like this, right? Like, I like that it is,
oh yeah, we didn't talk about this because it came out like the day after we recorded.
Yeah. Crucible Radio Classic comes out on Mondays, records off on a Thursday.
Or whatever. It's loose.
It's loose. We're loosey-goosey here. But still, we managed to put out a show basically every week. That's something. That's something.
You're a lot of people really leaning hard on each other right now.
No, let's talk about this quest because I like it. I like that there's a pinnacle Crucible endgame experience that doesn't require a team. Which is not to say that team play is not valuable. It's great. I like it, but I also like the solo grind, or I like to just be able to have the solo grind contribute to something more than a powerful engram each week. Because most of the time, that's how I want to roll. Or I want to play Rumble. I want to do the Rumble.
I think I called it. I was like, it's probably going to be some like crazy thing like the mountaintop quest.
You did?
And, yeah, that's pretty much what it is. It's a crazy long quest with tons of different steps. Involve tons of different things, kills, with different guns, all that. Yeah, that's exciting, man. I'll get into it really quickly.
Let's review it real quick and see, because I'm feeling pretty good about this. Step 1, 200 opponents with pulse rifle final blows, easy. Valor rank heroic, easy. 75 double plays, no problem. 150 opponents with precision final blows from any pulse rifle. Didn't we already do this one? Okay, whatever. Easy, no problem. 50 opponents with arc, 50 solar, 50 void, NBD, although it's going to hurt me to use those deficient orange bullets. That's good. I actually explained bullet color ranking to Eugenie, and it made a lot of sense. I very well received that ranking we came up with. Glad that's part of canon. 25. Okay, so not even wins, just 25 quick play matches, 25 comp matches, 25 rumble matches. Sure, easy, fine, no problem.
That's a lot of matches, though. That'll be the toughest part.
That's true, but it's steady grind.
You think you play 25 matches in a night? I don't think you do.
Not a night, but no. We're talking over a season here, right?
Sure.
Plus, we got 20 Crucible bounties. Okay, but step 8, reset your Valor rank 25 times. You're going to be playing more than 75 games. I'd say, you're chipping away. I like how there's a Rumble focus. That's the thing. Like, if you play 25 Rumble matches and you don't normally play Rumble, even if you lose every single one of them, you are going to come out of it a better player. This is, you don't have to be the best Crucible player to get yourself a broadsword, but you sure do have to be a dedicated one.
You just gotta show up.
You gotta show up. 8 p.m. Saturday night. It's whatever. Yeah, I don't know. I thought this was good, and I think this assuaged some of the concerns that we had that, like, you know, they're just going to give it away for free. When you're resetting your Valor rank for 5 times, that's certainly not for free.
I think the other thing was that you can't be completing parts of the quest like in advance. So like say you reset
the Valor rank.
Say you like get all these kills with Arc while you're doing the other things, it doesn't count until you get to that part of the quest.
Yeah, that's it. And although I don't mind that, right? Like, I enjoy a thing where, because like a lot of times I will pick out a loadout for myself and I'll go into the Crucible and I'll just say, you have to stick with this until you figure it out, until you make it work. Mm-hmm. And that has helped me grow and like get outside my comfortable little bubble of hand cannon SMG. And so I think this is the same thing, because a lot of this you could just like basically put on a pulse rifle and then just play Crucible, and you would all of a sudden this would finish, like everything would finish at the same time. Okay, there you go.
Oh, I'm probably going to save my Vigilance Wing Catalyst for this.
There you go, like right?
2 birds, 1 stone.
Check that off the list. So to kind of have a focus and to know, all right, I gotta go do this Arc thing right now. What's my Arc loadout? And it's Rumble time. We gotta go Rumble. I like it. This seems pretty reasonable, and I'd be curious to know if this is sort of their plan. Like, they are going to have the weapon that's a reward for each season, and then the next season have a less prestigious version of it that is less, good players only. Or if this is just a one-off because this first comp season didn't go quite how they intended. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah. I mean, we'll see the effect of random rolls on this, because like going forward, if everything has random rolls, then obviously the Redrix is like discounted simply because it's split between 2 way different like ways of them handling their sandbox. You know, they have the previous where it was like, okay, fixed rolls, and the second half is random rolls. So Broadsword will have that, and it'll probably be better for it. We'll see.
Yep. All right. Well, we got some new updates. We got a TWAB this week, and got a lot of concrete details.
The TWAB before the TWAB.
The TWAB before the TWAB. Also, I may point out that this TWAB contains not 1, not 2, but several nicknames for old Hamrick, including but not limited to Joe Shamrock and Ham Slamrick. If I could be the Jeopardy host that takes over after Alex Trebek and just be on one episode before I'm fired because I say, I'm sorry, the answer is Ham. I'm going to be invading your Gambit games real quick like Slamrick. Ham Slamrick.
You could just be on an episode of SNL's Jeopardy, and that would probably be fine.
There you go, right? Low stakes.
I think the other thing to say before this is that Dimji addressed on Twitter, I think it was, that this isn't the final list. Like, this is just kind of like a preview of everything that they are, of the coolest things, I think. Patch notes will be extensive and full of little goodies that aren't included in here. And I think he also mentioned that there's more exotics that'll be changing. So obviously,
I believe it. Don't
take this as like the final word on, a ton of things.
Well, I think this, for me, it made one thing clear, which is that in Forsaken, we are getting faster time to kill. And we understand on a conceptual level what that means. A lot of people have been asking for it. We've experienced it before in the Destiny world. And on a sort of purely statistical level, we're starting to get a sense of the basics of it, right? Like, we know how many hand cannon shots to kill it's going to take, right? How those aggressive and adaptive hand cannons are going to change, right? But I think there's obviously a lot more that goes into something like that. And we're starting to see some of these changes. So like, we see how all of the grenades, not all of them, but a lot of these grenades get tweaked to support time to kill. We're seeing how some of these exotics get tweaked to have them, maybe be a little bit better, but also make sense in a world with higher, lower, faster time to kill.
As far as the grenades go, I think this is more of like they do this now. They tune these grenades now and say, all right, these are the one, pushing a meta, essentially. It feels like they're pushing a meta towards these certain grenades. And then maybe later your other grenade gets stronger and this one gets weaker. But I think it's a good way of kind of handling that and pushing people in certain directions.
I think it's fair to say, too, that most of the grenades that got tweaked were kind of not the best grenades currently, right? I was going to usually take that pulse grenade over the storm grenade, as it were. Have not used flashbangs all that much. Axions have been
I'm curious
pretty
if
annoying.
The fusion grenade paired with the Ashen Wake gauntlets.
Ooh.
There you go. Because the Ashen Wake gauntlets gives more damage to your fusion grenade and also turns it into a explosion instead of a sticky.
Yeah.
So I wonder I wonder how much damage that'll do. Because it does a lot of damage already. I think it does 130-ish.
With that increased base damage, I mean, maybe it's I can imagine if it is a one-shot kill. Well, that's going to be pretty annoying, but there you go. There's your ham sandwich.
Maybe.
Okay. I do want to read these three things related in particular to the magnetic grenade, because when I first read this TWAB, I read it and I went, huh? And then I read it again and I went, huh? And I keep making that huh noise after every time I read these, and I want to see if it still works. Okay. Sure. So, we got the increased base damage. Sure. Got it. Okay. Damage is now the same whether a target has been stuck or simply walked over a grenade when detonating. Okay, sure.
That's just who stands on a grenade that wasn't stuck to them. That's weird.
Yeah, you stand on it. Come on, yeah. All right, now here we go. Magnetic grenade now detonates a second time, only if it's attached to a target. Okay. The second detonation no longer only occurs on the grenade itself and will now be applied to each individual target hit by the initial detonation. So you throw it and it sticks to somebody and it explodes once and it hurts the person that it's stuck to. And some other people are damaged in the initial explosion, and then they run. But they're still going. Now the grenade is going to explode a second time, and it's going to explode on everyone. Let's say, Swain, I throw a grenade at you. It's nothing personal, but it sticks to you.
Feels pretty personal.
Well, I mean, let's say I throw a grenade at Bones.
Oh, there you go. There you go.
Him. And you, because you're a good buddy, are hanging out with Bones, and you're standing right next to him. It sticks. And it explodes the first time. Well, you laugh, but then it explodes the first time. You get a little bit hurt. You take, you're not standing that close, right? It's Bones we're talking about here. It explodes, and you get a little bit hurt, and you go, "Ugh, I don't want to be here for this. I don't like that." And you bail. You start Titan skating at high speed, opposite direction, and you go over to, let's say, your good buddy Birds, who happens to be playing video games with other people this night, and now the grenade that's stuck to Bones quite a ways away explodes, but you have been infected by grenade explode-itis. And so in coming to say hi to me, you blow up also, and you blow me up a little bit too.
Do you continue carrying the explosivitis?
Right.
Explosivitis? Does it just keep going infinitely?
Sure. Bones is patient zero in a zombie explode-itis outbreak.
Well, there's only one way to find out.
Right? Seems complicated, but I'm sure it's just something that we will never notice, except sometimes randomly you'll explode and you go, what
it'll
was that?
Be all that we notice.
or we have a magnetic grenade meta.
How come that's not for the fusion grenade too? That's unfair.
Well, fusion grenade doesn't explode twice, right?
Sure, but they could have made it explode twice.
That's true, because it's got Ashen Wake, right? Maybe they didn't want to do that
we'll
too
see.
much. Also, I did want to point out, I'm looking at the TWAB, and it turns out the flashbang has had a number of changes made, It has increased base damage. It's also incendiary grenade, and it also has increased base damage. Now I know someone just indented more than they meant to, but yeah. No, this was
double increased base damage.
Yep, and also incendiary grenade. Very exciting. I'm so glad personally that the Void Wall is getting a boost, because Void Wall is the one most times that I want to use on the classes that have it, and it just doesn't seem very reliable.
I mean, that's the wombo.
Right? You gotta wombo your combo.
Sure. I love combos.
These seem good. These seem like they make grenades more valuable, and I get the sense that they're also going to fit in a meta where everybody's dying a lot more. There's just a lot more death in every Crucible match. So a grenade that kills somebody probably more is, it's on brand.
Sure.
I
think the best part of this TWAB was that swords will now be able to accept shaders.
Oh my God, yes. That seemed to me like, an oversight. You wanna make your chopper special. Well, chop.
Yeah, I'm excited for the new shaders in Forsaken.
Mm-hmm.
They're probably gonna be dope.
Mm-hmm. I'm excited for shader economy. I'm excited for being able to put the Mad Monk on everything, because I got like 3 of them. And that's not enough to do anything with, but it's a good looking shader. And now I can just carry a bunch of dust around and have that be my shaders. Get them when you need them. All right. Well, we got a couple other things in here worth mentioning. I want to talk about Wormhusk.
Well, let's talk about mods real quick.
Okay. I can wait.
Wormhusk is touchy.
That seems like a real after the break kind of conversation we have right now. So
I think the best thing to talk about mods, though, is to say that we saw the combat stream.
Yep.
On the combat stream, they had infinite mods.
A lot of mods.
So they could kind of do whatever they want to show it off. Like, I'm going to apply this mod, apply another mod, just to be like, hey, here's all the options. But that's not going to happen to you, because you aren't a developer that can just load infinite mods into the game.
Mm-hmm. You're going to be broke.
So they kind of do play up some of these things are going to be pretty rare to come across. And obviously you're going to want the benefits from them. You're going to want like a really cool gun that has the Icarus one.
Uh-huh.
So there's a lot of, I think there's some sort of advice we can give here as far as what to do with your stuff before Forsaken.
Oh, you just dismantle it, right?
Yeah, just pretty much dismantle all your mods and stock up on mod components and just kind of sit there and wait for Forsaken to drop. And you can, looks like you'll be able to just like directly from Banshee get these things.
That's it. Like, they're going to rotate daily. And when that mod comes around, man, you better hope that you got some mod components, right? When you get that...
That sounds like a playbook post every day. It's whoever's like, the mods today.
Could somebody please... I have to actually assume it exists, or there's one that's close enough to be repurposed. I just want to follow a Twitter feed that tells me if the thing I care about shows up at the vendors, right? Just I'm on Twitter all day anyways. Tell me when to get the thing. I got to say, I really like the mod system here, which basically says when you get a weapon, you got a small chance to get a mod. Mod comes in it. If you like the mod and you like the gun, go on and use it. If you don't like the gun, but you like the mod, go ahead, dismantle it. You now get the mod. You got the mod. If you really like the gun and you really like the mod, but you want to use the mod somewhere else, well, then you are in a bit of an interesting situation here, right? Like, what happens if you get that God Roll hand cannon, whatever that happens to be? I'm sure there's going to be some new name that we say 10,000 times a day, and just over, say a month from now, we won't be able to shut up about some gun with the God Roll. And it drops, but it's got a super powerful mod that is totally useless on a hand cannon. What do? You want the mod. You want the gun. You got to make a tough choice. And to me, that is interesting. That is the kind of like tough min-maxing decision I want to make. That's a kind of like in-game economy I want, versus just like, well, I've got 500 of these stacked up because I ran around this planet collecting things, do this and that, so I have them in case. And it's like, nah, I don't want that. No, it's not interesting to me. I want to get cool mods. I want to get cool guns, and I want to really have it matter. How you put them together. I like another thing too here, which is that by default you don't lose your mods. That's how like recovery mods for helmets, man. That feels like I've gotten two of them, and all at D1, and they're just so precious. I've got one more, and I'm like afraid to use it on something because like, what happens if I pick the wrong thing? Turns out it doesn't matter anymore. But what if I pick the wrong thing? And
or what if you like your armor set and you want to change the utility of it?
Right, yeah, you want to go for a different theme, right? Something like so. That was always a kind of tough decision because you're always losing mods. Using mods is losing mods. I'm gonna run for office on that, but now that's not the case. Now you really only build up mods. You only gain more. So we're gonna start off low on one. Whatever the 3 that we really want are, and then over the course of the season, we're going to get more and more of them. And once you've kind of solved that problem, you've got a stockpile, you're okay. You don't have to scrounge up every mod. But getting there is going to involve scarcity and making tough decisions and rocking things that are not so good that they're perfect in what you wanted and you wouldn't dismantle them, but good enough that you'll roll with them for a while until you've got a better option and maybe discover a new gun that suits a play style that you hadn't tried like that. That's cool to me. I like it. I like this new system.
It kind of feels like getting stuck with like an Icarus, IS Luna, and you're like, oh, well, I'm going to use it. I'm not happy about it, but I'm going to use it.
For the record, if I got an Icarus IS Luna, I'd be totally fine with that.
But like what, like shitty other roles.
Well, yeah.
So it's like,
that's tough.
I have it, and I have a thing I like about it, but
yeah. I don't know. This seems like a cool system. I like it. All the mods we've seen so far seem cool. And I just can't wait to like, just that feels when you're in the first week of a new expansion and you're getting drops and you're like, what is this? I never heard of this. And you're like saying the name of it for the first time and trying shaders on it for the first time. And life is wonderful and full of possibilities. And then by the end of the season, everything's shit and you're bored with all of it. And it's just like, oh, let's make this mantle. But we're not cynical like that at the beginning. We're fresh faced and full of life in the beginning. And I love
that
time.
Every single gun I get at the beginning of expansions, I'm like, ooh, yeah. I'm going to play with this one for a while. And you're like bragging, hey, I got this gun. And it's probably like crap. It's something you're never going to use after you get the right thing.
But that's it, right? Like you got more value out of this gun than you would otherwise because it was the one you had when you needed a gun, and you'll always remember those days you spent with Badger CCL. Badger CCL will forever be my gun that I used for a long time until I had the choice to use literally anything else.
I distinctly remember the Taken King and the first mission, and you kill the guy and like the blue drops and you're like, oh, a blue with a larger light level than I currently have. Guess I'm using it.
Yeah. Man, I'm not worried about any grind. I'm at 395 right now. That's crazy to me. That's crazy. I've never been in that position before. That's crazy. So I'm a happy camper. I'm going to take my time with Forsaken. I'm going to stretch it out. I'm not going to use up all that magic in the first week. Saving it. All right. Well, Swain, can I talk about Wormhusk now? I got thoughts, man. I got thoughts about Wormhusk.
Okay. Well, not until we hear a word from this week's sponsor.
Fair. That's fair.
And this week's sponsor is The Quiet Man.
The Quiet Man.
Silence rings loudest in The Quiet Man, an all-new immersive story experience from Square Enix. Enter a world beyond sound and words and unravel a mystery unlike anything you've heard before as you track down a mysterious masked stalker. Witness a seamless blend of game and film with full live-action cutscenes and stunning in-game graphics as you piece together a terrifying puzzle that will take you to the edge of sanity.
Man, I watched the trailers for this. This thing is interesting. Like, it starts off with a movie trailer, right? Live action with actors and all that.
Sure.
And like they're in this alleyway, and the people look like video game characters. They're like bad guy alleyway bad guys. You know, your standard.
Sure,
guys.
I've been in a bad guy alleyway.
Sure, right. You know, classic trope for the ages. But they're dressed like video game characters, which is very real when it's real people. Like it looks like a video game. And then all of a sudden it is a game, and you can see that it's CG now, but it's not just like cutscenes or quick time. It's like full on bullet time. Yeah, just hand-to-hand combat. Very visceral. Punchy and kicky. Seems pretty cool. I want to go watch another trailer for it. So yeah, check it out.
Well, you're in luck, birds.
Mm-hmm.
The Quiet Man is now available on Steam.
The Quiet Man. Yeah.
Check it out.
All right. So Wormhusk changed. And
all right, you can talk about it now. How do you feel?
Well, in the words of John Wisniewski, Wormhusk, a little spicy. Came off the plate, a little spicy. And I think that's cool. I certainly don't mind. It was in a field of pretty middling hunter exotics, a real good one. And I used it a lot. I like it. It is one of my go-tos. Still love Knucklehead Radar, but that's just me.
This is how little I played my hunter.
Uh-huh.
I checked to see if I had it.
Oh.
And I didn't have it
man.
because I never finished the Warmind story on my hunter.
It's only like halfway through too.
And I did it last night. I finished the story.
Okay.
And I got the Wormhusk. And it reminded me how like short a story can be on your sixth. Like you're like, no, this would be my third playthrough.
Uh-huh.
And you know all the little tricks. So you're just like, all right, I'm going to run through this entire section because nothing happens. I will not get attacked by enemies. So
yeah, keep on moving.
Interesting. Took a lot less time this time around. So
that's nice.
I have it now. So
the thing about Wormhusk is that it's really good. It's one of those exotics that's not just, it grants more grenade energy, something. It is a playstyle modifier. It changes the way that you use your dodge. I mean, it just doesn't make sense to dodge unless you're getting your Wormhusk activation out of it. Paired with Arcstrider, it is really good. Both of the trees, right? You got your top tree and your melee's recharging it. You got your bottom tree and, you get critically wounded and it starts recharging super fast. You basically, this is Wormhusk Arcstrider. This, not everywhere, but at least in a meme sort of way, this dominates the competitive mode. It's really quite good.
The biggest part was like the dodge in itself is like a ways to get to cover.
Yes.
So like if you're not only like just like dodging the cover, you're also getting health started when you dodge. It's like, oh yeah, well that's perfect because you're going to dodge behind cover. By the time you can come back out, you have significantly more health than the guy you were just dueling.
Yep. And that's I think that's really it, right? Like that changed the way the Crucible played, at least when it came to hunters. Because if you're at, in a shootout, medium or longer range, and you're about to kill that hunter, and he does his dodge back behind cover, in an instant, he's got full health back. And okay, that means he's, if you start shooting each other again, he's probably going to win. So, you get back behind cover, you got to do that. But it basically just like erases that exchange happened, right? Full health. And I remember you saying a while back that like it is past the point of annoying you. And I think I agree, right? Like, okay, he used his dodge. That's fine, right? A lot of other people go kill. I can go get him in a second. It's fine. But I think there's implications in a faster time to kill when that happens. Because when you have a slower time to kill, and right when you're about to die, you're absolute, you use your worm husk, you recharge, it takes a slower time to kill. And it makes it slower, right? It slows the game down that much more. All that damage you did, like it never happened. But when all of a sudden TTK is a lot faster, right? There's fewer shots in the mix. That regeneration is just not as useful anymore. It's not as relevant because you're going to get to that absolute point a lot faster. And you're going to get back down to absolute a lot faster because weapons are doing more damage. But there's another chunk of it too, which is the timing of it, right? You're not, when you do that worm husk dodge, you're not getting all your health back right away. You're starting the regeneration process. And I can't tell you how many times as a hunter I was absolute. I did my worm husk dodge. I started my health, and then on the way back to cover, I got tagged with just a little bit more damage. And it stops your recovery. And because because maybe I timed it right, it didn't end up killing me. In a faster time to kill, that little bit of extra damage is going to kill you a larger percentage of the time. I mean, I'm generalizing here, right? Maybe I'm overthinking this. But I think this does two things. I think one, it takes it down a notch, right? It's not as spicy anymore. It's not just resetting it so a second behind cover and they're back to full health. It's a panic move, gives you that health back, and it gives it to you at the beginning of the dodge. So it's basically instant. So when you are about to get shot, you see your absolute, your screen's turning red. Okay, you do the dodge and it's a save there. But it also doesn't change the flow of the match. It doesn't slow things all the way back down. So I think in that sense, they made it more relevant where that little bit of damage that would have stopped your regen before and now would kill you is buffered out, right? You've got enough health back. It doesn't result in so many kind of canceled regens because you took a tiny bit of splash and it stopped the regen process. And it also smooths it out a little bit because it's not bringing you back to full health. You basically can't ignore your recovery stat anymore. You still have to factor in recovery because if he brings you from 0 to half health, okay, well, you're not better yet. Like you can't just go for mobility and resilience, right? So I don't know. I thought this sounded spicier in my head. This seems pretty straightforward. I like it because I think, pretty frankly, they had to do something about worm husk. But that they didn't just nerf it. They didn't make, the regen slower or something like that. They just made it different and in a way that's more appropriate for what I expect the new meta to be. I think it makes sense, right? It's still got a place in the hunter exotic pantheon. It's more relevant. It's less S tier. You're dumb for not using it. We still get to keep this cool thing in the game. It's not bad now. It's just a little bit different. This makes sense to me. I like it.
I like it too. And
as someone who's been playing mostly Titan recently and is kind of sick of hunters with worm husk, I like it. I like it. We got riffs too. This one I think is absolutely in that same vein. Your healing riff heals you more, which is
more effective.
I have to assume that means it heals you up faster.
Sure.
And that's
the only thing it does.
Useful. Yeah, right. Not a lot else going. It brighter lights. Splashier swirls. Because when you're just that much more killable from that time to kill, you need it to be useful, and it's more punishing to stay in one place, especially with these spicy grenades in the mix. You got to have it really make sense.
I think I saw True Vanguard talk about it a little bit on Twitter and said that it's gonna, even though it heals you quicker, it fits a little bit better. Probably it's not going to be as much of a buff as more of a repositioning within that meta, like you said. You have to stand there for a second before it's cast, so you are exposing yourself to quicker time to kill, and you run the risk of being killed before you even drop it. So And usually when you're using it, you're like panicking. Like, ooh,
that's it, right?
Like, health real quick.
If I'm closing in and I see an absolute warlock trying to cast his rift, I think to myself, ooh, you're going to die. That is not going to help you in time. And now there's a chance like probably will help him in time.
Maybe.
Yeah. I imagine too, it's going to be more helpful for your teammates because they've got an incentive to dip in and get some healing going because it's not just like hella slow. So... that's good.
The other thing is the Empowering Rift is now changing to increase precision damage.
Yeah, that's
whereas previously it capped out at precision per you've
said it too many times, and now it's going to say we sound weird no matter what we say. Precision.
Precisian.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, that's cool. I still, I don't know if I ever see someone pop an Empowering Rift in PvP and I go to stand it and I go, what? No.
Nah, pair it with the infinite Titan barrier now, and you can just have guns forever, and they're super powerful.
You got a nest. Oh, wait, what do you think about this Rally Barricade change?
I don't see. I can honestly say I didn't see many people talking about it, so they're probably discounting it before trying it.
Sure.
I don't know. It seems cool. Like you could stand there. It'll probably be really good for objective holding, and for like kind of if you're gonna watch a lane, maybe.
Sure.
You want to just like not have to worry about reloading. Essentially, Rally Barricade will no longer require you to take cover to reload the gun. It's just going to feed the ammo from your magazine over time. So stand behind it, you're good.
I wonder if it's like just a proximity thing or what, but I always found the like crouch and ADS to peek out mechanic. I always found that very annoying. I don't care for it. Like maybe in the right PvE encounter.
What ended up happening with me is if I'm using someone else's Rally Barricade, I would end up casting mine because I was crouching behind it, and like maybe I pressed the button a little too long, and it instead of like crouching, it's like it cast the rift, and now it's pointless.
Double barricade, not so useful.
There you go.
And finally, we got some exotic changes. Well, we got Wormhusk, but some of these other ones are interesting. Transversive, I like this. It's going to reload your weapon after you sprint for a bit. I like that. That to me puts Transversive on a playing field with Ophidian because Ophidian just makes everything a little bit better. And one of those things is improved handling. You get that faster reload. You can use those aggressive hand cannons to take forever.
Curious how long you have to run.
Well, that's going to be for a short time, Swain, as you know. A short time.
What's a short time mean?
I don't know. I really like Transversive, though, and this seems cool. And enhanced mobility, if that's even faster, like I think this one is a contender. I think you can quite legitimately use something other than Ophidian on Warlock and know that you're not, I don't want to say slumming it, but you know, you're not playing to the meta. This feels good to me. We got the Titan ones. Helm of Saint 14 now grants allies an overshield for a short duration when they're passing through Ward of Dawn. Does this mean that you can dip in and dip out to get an overshield? Like in D1?
It does.
That's cool. I like that. I like that because that makes it useful, right? Like I feel like you pop a bubble now outside of certain comp situations where there's not a lot of players left on the field.
This was always big in Destiny 1 when you were playing PvE. Because like if you're burning down a boss and he's like shooting you the entire time, it always helped to have that little overshield.
Dip in.
And people would like, I just remember Kingsfall like going back and forth inside and like out of the bubble to get the overshield.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see how well it adapts to D2. And sure. I like Sentinel all around, so it'll fit very well into it. That's a good class. You essentially have two supers that you don't have to like go in and change.
Yeah, no, that's nice. I just like how because like in D1, the trick to placing bubbles was not to put them on the objective; it's to put it near the objective, and then you can use a little station, little fermentation station, and that kind of wasn't a thing anymore in D2. So it's cool. It's cool. I like it. Then Mask of the Quiet One, more face chainmail.
No.
I thought it had enough, but apparently not. It needs more. Also, you get buff the energy gain from incoming damage, and while critically wounded, health will be granted from kills. Interesting. I don't know if that's enough to push this one into any kind of PvP meta tier, but certainly doesn't hurt. So that's cool.
Sure.
Yeah, buff it up. And probably we're gonna see more tweaks to more exotics, like you said. So
that
cool.
feel like, I mean, that's good for 1v1s in a multiplayer environment, because you're going to be, if you won your 1v1 and you go to move on to the next one that is right there, maybe shooting you as well. You get a little bit of advantage if you're keeping up with it. So
if this was an old timey musical, I would sing a song. If you won your 1v1, then you're gonna keep moving on. Yeah.
perfect.
Thank you. And then also, hey, we got some goodies coming before. I'm loving how the day after this drops, we get this stuff, man. This is cool. We get this stuff. We're gonna get this Gambit preview, and we're gonna get our weapon slot changes live, which is cool because otherwise having it all drop on Forsaken Day would be a lot to process. A lot going on there. So this is nice.
I think it gives you a bunch of different things. It gets you kind of used to what you already own and where it's going to end up.
Yep.
So like if you really were attached to a gun now, it gives you a chance to be like, okay, I liked it where it was. Do I still like it where it's going to be? Mm-hmm. And will I still want to choose it when I get cool new stuff? Yep. Will I want to like go to old reliable in my kinetic slot, or do I want to try out some new shit?
Yep. I mean, this is time you would have to spend at the beginning of Forsaken figuring out what you're gonna use before you actually go and start playing. Now we get some time to live in it and feel it out.
And I think I distinctly remember them when they were talking about Gambit. They're like, this new weapon slot system works like it's like tailored for Gambit.
Yeah,
like Gambit is like perfect for it. So
yeah,
it kind of works out great that they're gonna try out Gambit later in the week, and also have you trying out the new weapon system. So
this also answered, I believe, as far as I know, this answered a question that I've had for some time. We've talked about on the show, which is what exotic power weapons are going to stay in that power slot. We always knew Acreus, right? Like Acreus too nasty, going to stay there. But guess what? Tractor cannon too nasty is going to stay there. Good.
Yep.
Darcy, I would say it is pretty nasty. Whisper of the Worm, plenty nasty. Not so much PvP, but still.
Darcy and Whisper tend to be PvE nastiness. Yep. Although Darcy is really, I like Darcy as a PvP weapon.
Darcy's not bad, It's decent.
It's the only sniper in Destiny 2 that I got a jump shot with.
Hey, good for you. I just like how I get real particular about my snipers. I like a little more field of view, right? I like to be able to see what's going on. So nice. It's
also going to come with the power ammo and ammo economy as in general is going to be coming with this also. You'll get a feel for how that works too. Picking up bricks from people that die and also spawning with ammo. And
that's gonna...
I think the key to
it's gonna be weird.
There's a lot of people that are annoyed by Tractor right now. And I think the key to, helping people with that is having a limited amount of power ammo that drops. If we're going to be having all these other things in the other app, I don't know. Maybe Tractor won't be that crazy when people have shotguns all the time. Yeah, well, it's just there's two kinds of shotguns, right? There's your shotguns, and then there's your really good shotguns. So now they're different. You can use both. You can use the one you prefer. They work differently. All right, man. Well, this is a Crucible Radio classic episode where we release a big episode based off of rumblings and rumors the day before a big thing happens. So thank you for listening. If you're listening to this at 5 a.m. on Monday morning, we love you. And it will always strike me as a little strange that you're listening to us this early in the morning because I
I find myself personally unbearable that early in the morning. But, you know.
I also find you unbearable at that time of morning.
Yeah, it's not great. It's not my best self. I'm okay with that.
Know who I find unbearable at all times?
I think so, but go ahead and say it.
You want to say it at the same time?
Yeah, please.
3, 2, 1.
Swain.
Bones.
Bones.
Oh, man. That hurt.
Nah, it's definitely Bones, man. I'm just ribbing on you. Yeah, Bones. I hope you got the fucking gun that you wanted. I hope you did. It's on brand for Crucible Radio. That's for no other podcast would that be a suitable excuse. But here, actually, no, checks out.
Yeah. It also fits the brand that the guy that's the closest to having been in college is still crunching last minute for homework.
Yeah. Old habits, Old habits die hard. Anyways,
leave us a review.
Leave
iTunes.
5-star review.
I want to read some interesting reviews coming up. So
that's it. Let's do some new 5-star review reads next week.
What's the podcast app for what you use? I want reviews on that. Can we get reviews on those things?
Yeah, go on Podcast Addict and leave some reviews there. That's the one I use. It's pretty good. I don't know if you can actually leave reviews on it, but I think you can. It's pretty good.
Shout into the internet what you think about us.
Yeah, just tweet a bunch of star emojis at us. It's fine. It's great. I mean, 5-star review on iTunes is ideal. But
also, Birds, we slipped up in our last Me and You episode, and we didn't give the user, like the listeners, homework when it comes to bothering Bones. So, do you want to assign some of that right now?
Can you?
Wait. How about tweet your Redrix is useless in the week?
Yeah. Just tweet at Bones about his time management and his life priorities. Just doesn't have to be negative. Just say those words and then a big question mark. Is it really worth it? Is it really worth it? And also, if you want to go on YouTube and find pimple popping videos and send those to him also, I know that would uniquely freak him the fuck out. So do that. I would really enjoy that a lot.
All right. We will see you next week, listeners. Hopefully there's some fun new stuff to talk about.
I'm spending so much time on the start menu, looking at weapon slots, looking at ammo type indicators. I can't even wait, man. I can't wait.
Yep.
I hope I can get a Vice loadout in every slot, man. The dream. This is my chance. I hope they took that note. They had the note. Give me the note.
Linear fusion. It's staying in the power. So you good.
All right, till next week.
Bye.
Thank you once again to SANDRIDER. Go check them out, sandrider.bandcamp.com. But there comes a time in every podcast where you eventually have to stop playing SANDRIDER, and that's where you come in. Musicians and listeners of Crucible Radio, we need some new stuff to play on the show, or start digging back through the archives, which is fine. But mix it up. I know you're out there. I know you're working on that new album, that new EP, that new single. Send it over. We want to hear it. We want to play it. Let's work together. CrucibleRadio@gmail.com.